It came to me actually when I was a young rabbi and moved out to Los Angeles. And I was invited by a pastor friend to Christmas Mass at his church at All Saints in Pasadena, which some of you, I imagine, know. This is the great Reverend Ed Bacon, who's now back in Birmingham, Alabama. And I know a friend to many and leading, really beautiful voice in the movement. And so he invited me to Christmas Mass, which I had never been to before. And I have to be honest that as a Jew growing up in America, I never had stepped into a church because I was afraid. I was afraid of churches because there was some way in which we felt like this is where the calls for pogrom were issued. And I was scared to go into a church. But he invited me, and I had, was a young rabbi. And so I went into the church, and he sits us in the front row with the Jews and the Muslims sit in the front row in Ed Bacon's church. And he said the only way to build a just society is for all of us to build it together. That Jews, Christians, Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists, we all have to be in this work together. And then he went on to tell the story, and I'll finish this in just a moment. He went on to share the story, the origin story of Christianity, which I think you and I have actually even talked about before, Billy. He says that from his telling of the story was about a couple that is so poor and so cast out from society that the woman, the mother, is about to give birth. She's in labor, and not one person in that inn will make room for her to be in the bed. And so she has to give birth outside on the lawn. And that is the origin story of Christianity, he says. And all of Christian history from that point forward is trying to rectify that act of casting a person or people out. And our work is to create a just society where nobody is ever treated the way Mary and Joseph were treated that night. And as I was sitting there as a young rabbi, I realized it's such a powerful story. And it's not my story. I have a different origin story. Mine is about being enslaved in Egypt for hundreds of years and then partnering with God to walk on a journey from degradation to dignity and from enslavement to liberation. Our stories are different, but as Reverend Tracy said, the end goal is the same. We're being our communal narratives and our faith narratives are pushing us and guiding us toward the same ends, which is, what does it mean to build a just and loving society? And the fact that we have different narratives to get there only strengthens us as a multi-faith coalition working toward the same ends.